Many times what happens in these situations, again, we go off and we have some privacy, we start developing a relationship, sometimes subconsciously. Sometimes it comes through an MSA, through an organization, through YM, maybe whatever it is, and we start sending Facebook messages to each other and we start adding those little smiley faces all the time, and we start saying different things, we start becoming a little bit more flirtatious, we start laughing a little bit more with each other, we start developing feelings for each other. And it's kind of understood that, you know what, I'm going to marry you and you're going to marry me. Now the problem with all of that is that you start talking, and you're still convincing yourself, or rather shaitan is telling you, look, you're not doing anything wrong, alhamdulillah you didn't do this. And then when you do that, then shaitan says, well, it could have been a lot worse, alhamdulillah you didn't do that. So you start talking, you start meeting in public, maybe with a group of friends, then you start meeting alone, then you start tapping each other on the shoulder, then you start maybe touching a little bit, but you're not getting completely intimate. Then you go to the parents. You see the problem with the equation here? Then you go to the parents and you act like nothing ever happened. And then the daughter says, Dad, this guy wants to marry me. What do you think? And he says, I don't like him, he's not Hyderabadi. Or I don't like him, he's not from Palestine. Or he's not from Karachi. Or he's not this, he's not that. Or I don't like him, he hasn't finished enough of his education. Then the tragedy starts from there. But wait a minute, I love him, I can't let him go. What do you mean? Is that all? Isn't that hadith about the wali, can I find something in the Hanafi fiqh that says I don't need a wali? How can I get around my parents now? Let me find an imam who's going to do this marriage. Let me see how I can get around this now. You start creating your own fiqh and customizing your relationship with Allah to conform with the haram relationship that you already established with someone else. And then you want to say Islam is not fair. Why does Islam say that the parents have this authority? Why does Islam say this? Why does Islam say that? Why is this happening to me? But I love him, I love her, I can't let it go. You shouldn't have developed the relationship in the first place. If the equation was proper, then you wouldn't have found yourself in the dilemma that you're in. And then you say, but I can't live without her, I can't live without him. It's your fault. You started it. You developed, you allowed yourself to develop that relationship. So now for the sake of saving your other relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the second most important relationship with your parents, you need to sacrifice the one that is grabbing your heart at that moment. So he allowed himself to develop feelings for her, and he didn't stop it at its root.